Good evening, everyone. It's another episode of Bedtime Stories in the Barn. This book, again, has been borrowed by one of my students. It is called Most Beloved Sister by Astrid Lindgren and illustrated by Hans Arndt. Now, I'll tell you a secret that no one knows except me. I have a twin sister. Don't tell anyone. Not even Mama and Papa know, because long ago when we were born, my sister and I, it was 7 years ago, my sister and I, we jumped right out away and hid behind the large rose bush at the far end of the garden. Imagine, she could jump so far, even though she had been just born. Do you want to know what my sister's name is? You may think that she's called Lena or Emma or some such girl's name, but she isn't. Her name is Lalalee. Say it several times in a row. Then you'll hear how pretty it sounds. Lalalee, Lalalee, Lalalee. My name is just plain Barbara, but Lalalee never says my name. She calls me Most Beloved Sister. Lalalee likes me so much. Papa likes Mama best, and Mama likes my little brother, who was born in the spring best. But Lalalee, she just likes me. Yesterday it was so very hot. Early in the morning I went and sat behind the rose bush, as I usually do. It's on a corner of the garden where no one ever goes. Lalalee and I have a special language, which only we understand. That sounds like us, Lily. The rose bush has another name in our language. It's called Sally Khan. While I sat there next to Sally Khan, I heard Lalalee call me, home, here. That's how you say, come here, in our language. And I crawled into the hole. There is a hole in the ground right under Sally Khan. I crept in. Then I climbed down the long, long ladder and walked through the dark passage all the way to the door, which leads to the Golden Hall, where Lalalee is queen. I knocked on the door. Is that my most beloved sister? I heard Lalalee say inside. Yes, I said. Nico, open the door for my most beloved sister, said Lalalee. And then the door opened, and Nico, the little dwarf who cooks for Lalalee, bowed and smiled just as he always does. Lalalee and I hugged each other for a long time, but then Ruff and Duff came running and began to bark and jump around us. Ruff and Duff are our small black poodles. Ruff is mine, and Duff is Lalalee's. Ruff is always so happy when I come. He licks my hands and wags his tail, and he's so, so sweet. I used to beg Mama and Papa to get me a dog, but they said that dogs were expensive and troublesome and not good for my little brother either. That's why I was so happy to have Ruff. Lalalee and I played with our dogs for a long time and had so much fun. Then we went to feed our little rabbits. We have a lot of little white rabbits. You'll never believe how beautiful it is in the Golden Hall. The walls shine with gold. In the middle of the hall is a fountain with bright green water. Lalalee and I bathed there. When we had fed the rabbits, we decided to go riding. Lalalee's horse is pale gold, and my horse is black. Its mane and hooves are silver. Our horses are called Goldfoot and Silverfoot. Oh my. We rode through the great horrible forest where the Frights live. The Frights have green eyes and long arms. They rushed after us. They didn't say anything. They didn't scream. They just came up silently behind our horses and reached for us with long arms. The frights wanted to catch us and lock us up in the great horrible cave, but Goldfoot and Sugarfoot ran so fast that sparks shot up beneath their hooves, gold sparks and silver sparks. The frights were left far behind. Later we came to the meadow where the kind ones live. The frights cannot go there. They must stay in the great horrible forest. They stood at the edge of the forest and looked through the trees with their nasty green eyes. We had such a good time with the kind ones. We jumped down from our horses and sat in the grass. Goldfoot and Silverfoot rolled in the grass and neighed. The kind ones, who have soft white clothes and red cheeks, came and gave us delicious cookies and caramels, which they carried on small green trays. No caramels are as good as the ones from the kind ones. In the middle of the meadow, the kind ones have a large stove. That is where they boil caramels and make cookies. Afterward, we rode to the most beautiful valley in the world. No one may go there except Lalalee and me. The flowers sing there and the trees play music. A clear brook runs through the valley. It can neither sing nor play music, but it hums a melody. I have never heard a prettier melody. Lalalee and I stood on that bridge that goes across the little brook and heard the flowers sing and the trees play and the brook hum its melody. Then Lalalee grabbed my arm very tightly and said, "Most beloved sister, there is something you must know." Right then, I felt a pain in my heart. "No," I said, "I do not want to know." Lalalee went on, "There is something you must know." Then the flowers stopped singing and the trees stopped playing, and I could no longer hear the brook's melody. "Most beloved sister," said Lalalee, "when Salacon's roses wither, then I will be gone. I will be dead." I threw myself up on my horse and I rode away from there, and the tears ran down my cheeks. I rode as fast as I could. Lalalee came racing after me on her horse. We rode so swiftly that Goldfoot and Silverfoot were drenched with sweat when we reached the Golden Hall. My goodness, it's so sad. Nico had prepared delicious pancakes for us. We sat on the floor in the front of the fire and we ate them. Ruff and Duff jumped around us. Our rabbits also came hopping up and wanted to be with us. At last, I had to go home. Lalalee walked me to the door. We gave each other such a hard goodbye hug. "Come again soon, most beloved sister," said Lalalee. Then I went out the door and through the passage, and I climbed up the ladder. I heard Lalalee call after me one more time, "Come again soon, most beloved sister." When I entered the nursery, Mama was there putting my little brother to bed. Her face was very pale, and when she saw me, she left my little brother in the crib and rushed over to me. She took me in her arms and asked, "Dearest child, where have you been? Where have you been all day?" "Behind the rose bush," I said. "Oh, thank goodness you're here," said Mama, and kissed me. "We have been so worried." And then she said, "Do you know that what Papa has bought for you today?" "No, what is it?" I asked. "Look in your room," said Mama. As fast as I could, I rushed to look. And there in the corner beside my bed lay a little black poodle puppy, asleep. It awoke and jumped up and it barked. It was the sweetest dog I had seen in my life. Yes, it was even sweeter than Ruff down in the Golden Hall. It if it was more alive. It is yours alone, said Mamma. I picked it up in my arms, and it barked and it tried to lick my face. Yes, it was the sweetest dog I had ever seen. Its name is Ruff, said Mamma. Wasn't that strange? I liked Ruff so much, and I was so happy that I could barely sleep that night. Ruff lay in his basket beside my bed. Once in a while, he whinnied a little in his sleep. He whined a little in his sleep, not whinnied. Ruff is mine alone. This morning, when I went out into the garden, I saw that all of Salacon's roses had withered, and there was no longer a hole in the ground. He's a little puppy. I know, sweet girl.